Raging Bull is a hypercoaster located at Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. Opened in 1999, this was one of the first hypercoasters designed by B&M, and it is also one of the most polarizing roller coasters in the country. Some consider this coaster to be not all that great, while others, myself included, really enjoy it. Let's take a look at this coaster a bit more in depth. Welcome to Ejector Airtime, and this is my review of Raging Bull. Before we get into it, make sure you take the time to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. And also, don't forget to give this video a like, as that will really help against the YouTube algorithm. Let's start with the stats. Raging Bull has a height of 202 feet, but its 65-degree drop plummets 208 feet into a tunnel. It then hits a top speed of 73 miles per hour. What really sets this coaster apart is the fact that, unlike most hypercoasters, Raging Bull features a twister layout instead of the standard out and back layout. Limited space was likely the reason for such a layout. Despite this, it still gives a decent 2.5-minute ride time with a track length of 5,057 feet. The ride experience goes as follows. Following a dip to the left out of the station, the train begins ascending the 202-foot lift. Once reaching the top, you experience a pre-drop, a feature that can only be found on one other B&M hypercoaster. We'll talk more about this later. The train drops 208 feet into a tunnel where it reaches a top speed of 73 miles per hour. Out of the tunnel, you climb into a massive turnaround followed by a trimmed camelback. This opening is similar to that of Goliath at Magic Mountain and Titan at Over Texas. Next is an element similar to a wave turn, which is followed by another oversized turnaround that leads into the mid-course. Off the brake run is another camelback and a large helix turn encircling the first drop. This then leads into the coaster's finale, a large figure-8 section that delivers some really strong positive Gs. The train then rises up into the final brake run, ending your 2.5-minute ride experience. As with other B&M hypercoasters, Raging Bull features their signature sideless open-air trains that feature only a clamshell-style restraint. The experience of riding in these trains creates a very exciting free flight sensation, especially if you're sitting on an outside seat. I strongly recommend riding in the very last row. If you want the most exciting ride experience, I will always encourage you to wait for our seat in row 9. Believe me, it's worth it. For many enthusiasts, the lack of strong airtime moments seems to be the primary reason that this is a very polarizing coaster. I personally believe this is what makes it such a unique ride. It may be a bit more varied than other hypercoasters, but it still offers a ride that's worth experiencing. My only real complaint was the large camelback being trimmed a little too much. If they were to ease up on the trims just a little bit, the airtime would be way more sustained going over that camelback. Other than that, the airtime moments that this coaster does offer are still pretty good. Even the drop off the mid-course delivers some pretty good ejector airtime if you ride in the back. Speaking of ejector airtime, we have to talk about the first drop. As I previously mentioned, Raging Bull features a pre-drop. Rather than an immediate descent, the track first levels off after releasing you from the chain lift. This allows the train to start picking up speed before the main drop. From the front row, the experience is pretty gradual, but if you're in the last row, be prepared for some of the most violent ejector airtime you will ever get. Just watch this view from the back row and you'll see what I mean. As you can see, you get whipped over that drop. On my first ride, I swear I thought I was about to be pitched across the freeway. This is hands down the most incredible first drop I have ever experienced, as I was way off my seat the entire way down the drop. For me personally, this first drop alone makes the coaster worth the experience. In the end, I would definitely give the coaster a solid 10 for 10. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Raging Bull. If you're not subscribed to Ejector Airtime, please make sure you do that so you don't miss any future content. Thank you so much for watching.